a 72 Ford FE. It's an F250 custom pickup.
That's right. As a 250, it's a 3/4 tonner, but it's got more than enough power under the hood. The original 302 is gone. It displays a 5-liter Coyote dual overhead cam engine. Great engine, aluminum heads, block, very light, very powerful. Dana 44 front axle with an aluminum cover on it, which is stiffer and harder and stronger than the original tin piece from the factory. Dana 60 at the back of this one.
And significantly, it's made it up to a 10-speed transmission. The beauty of that thing is it's much smoother as it goes up through the rev ranges. So not only are you getting a more powerful engine, better suspension, but you're getting a smoother acceleration. Interestingly, this is a long bed. Now remember, this was a Ford F250, more likely to have a long bed to start with. You see so many short beds rolling across the block, but this is a long one. It's a long number. We're up to $210,000.
Roadster stock shop chassis, specially built for velocity restorations. All name brand components and heavy duty all around.
And on the windshield it says 2-year warranty. Okay.
And not just 2-year warranty, 2-year bumper-to-bumper warranty. Whoever's built this is really backing it.
$220,000 for that 72 Ford F250. Now here's another 72 Ford FE. This is the F100. This is also a ground-up build by Velocity Restorations on a Roadster shop chassis.
So you say you like that 72 body style, but that last one was too big. You don't need a 3/4 ton. Well, this is the step down. F100, the half ton, but it's basically been done with the same style, right? It's got that same Roadster spec chassis. It's got, you know, a modern upgraded Coyote V8 engine, the same 10-speed automatic transmission, and just like that last one, a 2-year bumper-to-bumper warranty. So whoever buys this, boy, I mean, they're getting a lot of, you know, warranty assurance.
That is rare in the classic car world, that someone would do a restoration and offer a bumper-to-bumper warranty. So hats off to Velocity Restorations in Florida, and hopefully they have started a trend with this.
Just a beautiful look, has the right stance, and of course, as we can buy crate engines, we can also buy crate chassis from companies like the Roadster Shop. Laser cut pieces and parts, hydro cut pieces, no flag or slag on them, and just bolts right in. It's designed to be for this application. No shimming, goes right on the truck.
And I have to think that that warranty is having an impact on the price. Whoever's looking at this is thinking, you know, I'm willing to spend $250,000 because I can trust it.
I agree, Rick. At $250,000, this is the number 3 retail sale of this Parajackson auction. Great result. We're going to stay in the Ford family with the 60.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Unbound, where the show that never ends on, whoa, what's going on? You know, where the show that never ends on finding the information that is trending this week. I feel like there's something wrong with my mic. Oh, there we go. But again, welcome back to Unbound, the show where we dig beneath the headlines, unpack the chaos, and ask the questions everyone else is too nervous to touch. I'm Jey Morales, and with me tonight is my co-host, Revelation. How you doing, Revelation?
Oh, good. You know, typical New York in this time of year. Freezing, trying to stay warm.
Yes, yes. If you've been out here in the western New York area and throughout eastern part of the United States, it has been really, really cold. A lot of snow still on the ground. Still people getting hit by snow, Revelation. And I guess more snow is expected in Bitterness next week. Also, Groundhog's Day Monday. Is he going to see a shadow or not? Find out.
Brother, that man ain't leaving his hole. He probably has, you know, he's probably watching every single cable channel. He's probably have, you know, his feet are propped up. He's in his robe. He's drinking an alcoholic drink. He's, you know, he's got the fire going. He's munching on a snack. He ain't leaving that hole.
He ain't.
I mean, If you want to know what the weather is right now, it's 10 degrees, and with the wind, it's -4.
That man is watching right now Groundhog's Day with Bill Murray, saying, "Yep, you're gonna live it every day for the next 6 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, on the snow and bitterness." Am I right or am I right?
God, Caddyshack was a great movie. He fucking hated that groundhog.
Ladies and gentlemen, uh, the video that we started out today was Velocity Restorations. We were talking about this like a week ago. I don't know if you remember last weekend. We talked about that Velocity Modern Classics was going to be out at the Barrett Jackson with an F100 and an F250, a 1972 F100 and F250. Ladies and gentlemen, these vehicles, as you saw in the video, were high end made by our good friend Eddie Weber down at Velocity Restorations. And all I would like to wish him is nothing but the success that he deserves, and the congratulations as well. So shout out to Velocity Modern Classics and Eddie Weber for those wonderful, wonderful builds. Uh, you guys deserve it. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. If you want to catch that video again, you can go down to my page at Jey Morales Unbound. Jey Morales Unbound, ladies and gentlemen. You can check that out on there. Later tonight, Revelation, I'll send it to you so you can catch the auction for those vehicles. And they sold really well. They sold for really, really, really well, especially for the first time for Velocity Modern Classics to be going down to Barrett Jackson. First time. So shout out again to Eddie Weber, Red Run Racing, and Velocity Modern Classics. Killing it down there. They're killing it. Let me see. Do we have? We do. Yeah, yeah, man, and it had these vehicles. Revelation. I don't even know if this can hear us. Can this hear us? Yes, perfect. Can this speak for me? Speak.
Speaking.
There we go.
One,
It's
two,
working.
three.
It's working. These vehicles, ladies and gentlemen, were restorations. Like I said, there was nothing else. They just restoring the vehicle. They replaced the engine. They replaced some of the things to make it feel lightweight and original. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. They really did. The Eddie Weber outdid himself. The 1972 F100 sold for 250,000, and that's not and that was hammer price. That's not the additional that they have to pay on top of that. Which is like a 40% or something like that. And the 1972 F250 Revelation sold for 220,000, and that's also without counting the you know the additional tax that these people have to pay. But they did amazing. The people that paid for this really got their buck, because who do you know that will do this at Barry Jackson, sell a vehicle and actually sell it more than any other vehicle that they were selling, and have a 2-year warranty bumper to bumper. Do you hear me? A 2-year warranty bumper to bumper, ladies and gentlemen. You need to go check out Velocity Modern Classics. They got their, I'm sorry for my language, they got this shit going on down at Velocity, ladies and gentlemen. So go ahead and check them out. Man, I can't remember what button it is. I think it's this one. Nope. Sorry, not the cable. Not that. There we go. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Velocity Modern Classics, located down in 15 East Quintet Road and in Canton, Florida, 32533. You can visit them at their website at velocityrestorations.com or contact them at 850-466-1810. They're open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Yeah, make sure to contact them. Any projects Anything you have going on, let us. I mean, not us. Let them know. You know, they had any questions you have, they got them for you. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, after such a long intro on Velocity Modern Classics, because they have been killing it, but tonight we got a. My goodness gracious, here, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, your man has.
We have an action-packed lineup.
Yeah, we do have an action-packed lineup. From federal agents under scrutiny for deadly force in Minneapolis to a high-profile journalist facing civil rights charges at a protest to political tensions that reached the podium during a town hall with a Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. We'll also do a preview of the Riyadh Royal Rumble 2026 tomorrow, happening this Saturday. Saturday, January 31st. Breaking down the biggest matchups, surprises, and moments that fans won't want to miss. And we'll take a moment tonight to also celebrate the life and career of comedy legend Catherine O'Hare, whose passing has left the entertainment world in mourning. And we'll also have Revelation give us a little bit of his topics tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So stay tuned
Oh yeah,
and stay
you all are
classy.
gonna like them.
Oh yeah, stay tuned, stay classy, and make sure to get your munchies in a drink. If you're hearing us at work, get ready. Here we go. The U.S. Department of Justice has opened a federal civil rights investigation into the fatal shooting of 37-year-old Alex Pretti. Ladies and gentlemen, before I continue along, yes, I know we're still talking about this. It's just the headlines that are still going this week. There's really not much trending. We just try to give you what is going updated from the things about Alex Pretti today. By federal ICE agents in Minneapolis, marking one of the most closely watched law enforcement use of force cases in recent months. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche confirmed this development as the FBI takes the lead in examining the circumstances surrounding Pretty's death during a federal immigration enforcement operation. Pretti, a registered nurse at the Minneapolis VA health care system, described by colleagues as a compassionate and dedicated, was shot and killed on January 24th, while the federal agents from U.S. Customs and Border Protection, operating under the Department of Homeland Security, were engaging in an immigration crackdown in the city. Early official statements suggested Pretti had approached the officers with a handgun and posed a threat, but multiple videos that have since circulated contradict that account, showing him holding only a cell phone in the moments before he was tackled and shot. The civil rights probe comes amid contradictory, right? Yeah, contradictory accounts and public outrage. Federal authorities originally claimed Pretti brandished a firearm, behaved aggressively, but independent footage and witness statements indicate he was unarmed. When agents first engaged him, one widely viewed videos show Pretti walking and holding his phone shortly before being pepper sprayed, tackled, and ultimately shot with his legally owned firearm only visibly after he was on the ground. Pretty's shooting is being investigated not just as a use of force incident, but also a potential violation of the federal civil rights laws that protect individuals from lawfully deprivation of life. Government agents, the federal FBI involvement reflects concerns about whether constitutional rights were violated when agents fired on Pretti. The probe also includes support Homeland Security investigations, and federal agents who were involved have been placed on administrative leave. Leaves to the inquiry continues. Adding to the complexity, the state investigators from the Minnesota's Bureau of Criminal Apprehension were initially blocked from participating in the case, a movement that has frustrated local officials and legal observers. That decision has raised questions about transparency and cooperation between federal and local law enforcement and high-profile shootings investigation. Pretti's family, represented by attorneys with experience in high-profile civil rights cases, and has called for a thorough and partial investigation. They reject official narratives that Pretty was violent or posed a threat. His loved ones, community members highlight his work as an ICU nurse and his efforts to help others, including a situation just before he was shot where he appears to be assisting a woman who had been pushed to the ground. This federal inquiry follows other recent controversy in Minneapolis involving federal law enforcement, including another fatal shooting earlier in January. That case drew widespread protests, intensified scrutiny of immigration enforcement operations, and how agents interact with civilians. Officials and civil liberties advocates argue that the Peretti probe will test whether federal agencies are held accountable under civil rights statutes when deadly force is used against civilians. The investigation is still unfolding, and it remains unclear what charges, if any, federal prosecutors might pursue against the agents involved. However, the DOJ decision to open a civil rights investigation underscores the gravity of the incident and the growing demand for accountability and transparency in law enforcement actions, especially when they are involved in a deadly force against civilians. Now, my ending discussing questions: what should be the threshold for federal civil rights investigations into shooting by the federal agents, and how transparency and accountability play into public trust? How do conflict officials' statements and independent video evidence shape public perception of use of force cases involving law enforcement? Should local authorities have greater access to evidence in collaboration with federal agencies when they investigating killings of civilians? And what might that mean for justice and community relations? Let us know in the comment section, as always, ladies and gentlemen, or what you think. And what do you think, Revelation? What do you got?
Listen, all I'm gonna say is, like I said last week, or not last week, the last episode,
Success.
if the police were allowed to help them, you know, like they had wanted to, and like it was in every city that the ICE had gone to before, chances are none of this would have happened. That lady wouldn't have gotten shot. Home dude wouldn't have kicked a tail light out, and that also wouldn't have, when they had seen him approaching them with a gun, they wouldn't have put two and two together and been like, hey, isn't that the dude that kicked our tail light out? Or the other, agent's tail light out of the vehicle. Oh, wait, that is. Oh, look, he has a gun on his hip. And he's walking towards us pretty fast. That's probably not a good thing. We should subdue him pretty fast.
Yeah,
Like,
you think that's what they said?
I mean, it doesn't take a genius.
I'm just trying.
Anyone with more than 4 years on the job probably put two and two together, especially since, most of the people on that job usually are from the military. You see somebody walking towards you with a gun in a certain particular manner, you're like, he's not going to just come up and shake my hand.
Right.
Especially when you've had a previous run-in with the dude where he's kind of hostile towards you.
True. True. And that's why we have Revelation here, ladies and gentlemen, to answer these questions. Who would answer these questions for us? We don't know. But that's why we have Revelation here. Right, Reb? Yeah.
Like, am I saying it was right that he got shot? No, I'm never saying it's right that anyone gets shot. Unless they break into your fucking house. Then shoot them. Evaporate their ass. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care if they have fucking Fido the magic talking dog with them. They don't deserve to be in your house without, being invited in.
Correct.
No. It didn't look like he needed to be shot.
Oh man, you're opening up for the next segment without, ladies and gentlemen. We did not discuss this. We did not discuss. Do you know what happened to Don Lemon today? We're talking about Don Lemon tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's not funny, but I'm just making a light of what happened. Let's go jump into ladies and gentlemen. This was not practice at all, ladies and gentlemen. This is raw. Journalist Don Lemon has been charged with federal civil rights crimes following his presence at an anti-ICE protest that took place, inside a church in St. Paul, Minnesota. The incident occurred during a regular scheduled Sunday service at a church led by a pastor who also serves as an immigrant and custom enforcement official. Protesters entered the sanctuary during worship to denounce the pastor's role with ICE and to call attention to immigration enforcement policies. They argue that immigrant communities, they argue they harm immigrant communities. Ladies and gentlemen, I got a little news to tell y'all. I have glaucoma, so sometimes I can't read very well. And I'm not reading bullshit. I'm reading a literal helping guide because my eyes are deceiving me, ladies and gentlemen. So hang there with me, and we'll get through this. Federal prosecutors allege that the protest disrupted the church service and interfered with the congregation's ability to freely practice their religion. According to charging documents, authorities claim that those involved intentionally targeted the church service to make a political statement and that their actions crossed from protected speech into unlawful interference with civil rights. The charge rely on federal statutes designed to protect religious worship from disruption and intimidation, including civil rights conspiracy laws that prohibit coordination or coordinated actions aimed at denying people their constitutional freedoms. Lemon was arrested by federal agents days after the protest and later released without bond. Prosecutors argued that he did more than simply observe the event and say his presence and actions placed him within the group responsible for the disruption. They alleged he was not merely reporting but was embedded with the protest organizers and aware of their plan to interrupt the service. Lemon has strongly denied the claims, stating he was present solely as a journalist documenting the protest and sorry and it had no role in planning or carrying it out. He says he did not chant, block entrances, or attempt to stop the service and insists he was there to record what unfolded. The case has quickly ignited a broader national debate over press freedom and the boundaries between reporting and participation. Press advocates argue that charging a journalist from being present at a protest sets a dangerous precedent that could chill coverage of controversial or political sensitive events. They warned that reporters could become targets simply for being on the scene when demonstrators occur, particularly in political polarized environments. Civil liberties groups have also raised concerns about selective enforcement, questioning whether similar actions would be prosecuted as aggressively if they involved a different political cause. Supporters of the prosecution argue that the house of worship deserves special legal protection and that political protests inside religious services violate both the law and basic norms of religious liberty. They maintain that no cause justifies interrupting worship and that journalists are not immune from consequences if they are seen as contributing to unlawful activity rather than observing it. Some legal analysts note that the outcome of this could the outcome of this case could clarify how far journalistic protection extends when reporters embedded themselves in protest movements. The charges come at a time of heightened tension over immigration enforcement, religious freedom, and protest tactics. Churches have increasingly become symbolic battlegrounds in political conflicts, particularly when clergy and congregations are tied to government roles or immigration activism. This case now sits at the intersection of those disputes, raising questions about whether the law is being used to protect worshippers' rights, suppress protests, or intimidate the press. Lemon has said the intent to fight charges and portray the case as a test of press freedom in politically charged spaces. If convicted, he could face significant penalties under federal civil rights statutes. The case is expected to move through federal court in the coming months and is likely to draw continued attention from media organizations, civil rights groups, and political leaders on both sides of the debate. Now, my ending discussing questions about this: should journalists be protected from prosecution when covering protests that crosses legal lines, or does press freedom end when a protest disrupts others' rights? Do churches and religious services deserve stronger legal protection from political demonstrations than other public spaces? Could cases like this discourage reporters from covering controversial protests? And what would that mean for public accountability and transparency? Let us know in the comment section. As always, ladies and gentlemen, Rev, what do you got for me? Ladies and gentlemen, Revelation is the man of the answers that we get here on the show. We also get people here who are involved with us. Is this running? Can you all see us? Oh no. I don't know how long they couldn't see us.
Oh,
That's a problem.
could they hear us at least?
Yeah, I hope they could hear us. I'm gonna check that out. Go ahead and you can speak now. We're good to go. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. Hopefully you heard all that spiel. We're going to be talking now on Revelation side on his thoughts on Don Lemon and the arrest that he had today.
Okay, so the that specifically falls under the Freedom to Access Clinical Entrances, or FACE, which is 18 USC 248, which was signed by President Bill Clinton in May of '94. The first section is the use of physical force, threat of physical force, or physical obstruction to intentionally injure, intimidate, interfere, or attempt to injure, intimidate, or interfere with any person who is obtaining an abortion. 2. The use of physical force, threaten of physical force, or physical obstruction to intentionally injure, intimidate, interfere with, or attempt to injure, intimidate, or interfere with any person who is exercising or trying to exercise their First Amendment right of religious freedom at a place of religious worship. So, not only were all those protesters that barged in completely committing a federal felony, but since Don Lemon wasn't a journalist, because independent journalists don't have a journalist license, when he kind of got in and started shoving the journalist, or the I should say not the journalist, the pastor, guess what he did?
What do you do?
He became a rioter just like they did and committed a federal felony. Why do you think the DOJ got involved? But
He
but guess what?
he fafo. He fucked around and found out. Is that what you telling
Yeah,
me?
but because it happened in the state of Minnesota, which the governor is a Democrat. Now, I'm going to say this because this is literal facts. Democrats tend to appoint people, again, also so do Republicans. Uh, Republicans appoint Republicans, same kind of stuff like that. When Democrats tend to be lenient, Republicans tend to be stricter. Now, because Don Lemon always has been a Democrat, they're like, oh, hey, um, we're gonna get you out of jail on the lenient kind of side. So you're gonna get 5 years because we gotta at least give you a sentence. I think it was 5 years. It's 5 years or something like that. I remember 5. So, yeah. But yeah, he did commit a federal felony. Yeah, he fucked big time.
Wow. Ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, leave us your thoughts in the comments of what you thought. Would like to apologize real quick. There was uh, maybe a couple minutes of silence from Revelation side. That was my fault. He deserves better. Um, hang in there, ladies and gentlemen. This show will get better as it goes. Ladies and gentlemen, now we're going to move on to President Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, remains at the center of the federal government's controversial immigration enforcement operation in Minneapolis. And the new developments over the past 48 hours show that the effort is entering a strategic transition. Even as tensions remain high and questions about accountability and community trust persists. Homan, who was dispatched to Minnesota after federal agents fatally shot 2 U.S. citizens during enforcement actions earlier this month, has been working to recalibrate what had been brought. Um, Aggressive street operations into a more targeted approach, focus on individuals with criminal history, and public safety threats. In press briefings this week, Homan acknowledged that the operation can be improved and outlined a plan to reduce numbers of federal immigration officers in the state, but only on terms he said would create a more controlled and coordinated enforcement environment. At the same time, internal guidance has reportedly been issued directing U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers not to engage with agitators during operations and to focus their efforts on people with criminal charges or convictions rather than conducting broad sweeps that have drawn national criticism. An email circulated among ICE personnel bluntly stating, "Do not communicate or engage with agitators," urging officers to limit interactions that could inflame protesters. Holman's comments this week echoed that shift, while he repeated that federal enforcement would continue. He emphasized cooperation with local leaders as a key lessening the federal footprint on Minneapolis streets. He said discussions with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, Minneapolis Mayor Corbett Frey, county sheriffs and correction officials are underway, and that sorry, not gender, and that greater collaboration, especially allowing federal access to individuals in state prisons and jails, could lead to a drawdown of agents. Yet Homan has also made clear that the federal presence will not simply evaporate on its own. At Thursday's briefing, he repeated a phrase that has become central to his uh, Minneapolis message, saying it would remain in the city until the problem is gone. Federal officials described this as a part of an effort to regain law and order amid continuing protests and criticism that the earlier enforcement strategy was too aggressive and poorly targeted. Local leaders, however, remain skeptical. Minneapolis and Minnesota officials have long called for an end to Operation Metro Surge, emphasizing independent investigations into the recent deaths, greater transparency, and significant reduction in federal enforcement activity. Mayor Frey and Governor Walz have reiterated these priorities in talks with Homan. Even as they express cautions optimism about scaling back federal operations. On the ground, many residents in activism remain vigilant. Some see reported shift toward targeted operation and reduced interaction with protesters as a partial win for the local pressure and scrutiny. Even if overall distrust of the federal presence persists, others warn that the changes may be superficial unless there is true accountability for past actions and lasting limits on how enforcement is carried out. The developments in Minneapolis now sit against a backdrop of broader political debate, including ongoing tensions in Congress over the Department of Homeland Security, funding, and competing visions of how immigration enforcement should operate in cities that have been pushed back against federal tactics. Homan's continued presence and the conditional uh, drawdown plan illustrate how Minneapolis has become a national flashpoint in the debate over federal enforcement authority, civil liberties, and local autonomy. With federal agents still active in a common, sorry, with federal agents still active and community leaders demanding greater oversight, the situation in Minneapolis continues to evolve, raising questions about how far strategic shift will go in addressing both enforcement goals and public concerns. Can a conditional drawdown tied to, ending discussion questions here. Can a conditional drawdown tied to cooperation with state and local officials actually reduce tension, or does it risk prolonging federal involvement? Does Homan promise that he will stay until the problem's gone, reassure supporters, or deepen skepticism among critics? How effective can targeted enforcement be in restoring community trust, especially after aggressive street operations and deadly shootings? Let us know in the comment section what you guys think. And Revelation, what do you got?
Um, I don't really got anything for that one.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us know in the comment sections what you think about that situation. During tense evening in Minneapolis on January 27, 2026, dramatic U.S. Representative Ilhan Omar was assaulted at a public town hall meeting when a man suddenly approached her in a podium and sprayed her with an unknown liquid from a syringe-like device. The incident came as Omar was speaking at a federal immigration enforcement and calling in parts of the Department of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, to resign or face impeachment amid a mounting criticism of recent federal operations in the Twin Cities. The man, later identified by local police as 55-year-old Anthony Kazmierczak, longed toward the Congresswoman lectern and sprayed the substance before being swiftly tackled to the ground by security personnel and members of the audience. Officers working the event immediately took him into custody and booked him into Hennepin County Jail on suspicion of third-degree assault. The initial confusion surrounded what had been sprayed on Omar, but investigators later determined that the liquid was a non-toxic and described as water mixed with apple cider vinegar, according to statements from the Hennepin County Attorney's Office, and forensic analysts. Authorities have sent samples for additional laboratory testing, but do not believe the substance posed a serious biological or chemical threat. Throughout the encounter, Omar was not seriously injured. She briefly appeared shaken, but refused to leave the podium and continued the town hall for roughly 25 more minutes, emphasizing that she would not be intimidated and if the safety concerns would not deter her from doing her work. I'm okay. I'm a survivor, so this small agitator isn't going to intimidate me from doing my work. Omar wrote on social media after the event. Her staff and local officials helped ensure she received appropriate medical screening afterwards. The FBI has taken the lead on the investigation, given that the assault occurred during an official congressional event, and federal law enforcement is coordinating with the Minneapolis Police Department and U.S. Capitol Police. Prosecutors may pursue further charges against Commersac at the federal level, in addition to the state assault charge already recorded. Sorry if I'm butchering up that last name there, ladies and gentlemen. Background checks and court records indicate that Kazmersak has lengthy criminal history, including prior felony conviction and arrest for driving-related offenses, and social media posts showing support for Donald Trump and criticism of Omar. Prosecutors and police are examining whether political motivation played a role in the attack, though local officials have stressed that violent actions against any elected officials are unacceptable regardless of political beliefs. Reactions from public officials have been swift. Minnesota's Democratic Governor Tim Walz expressed relief that Omar was unharmed and condemned the attack, calling for an end to the cruel, inflammatory, dehumanizing rhetoric that he said has contributed to a surge in threats against lawmakers. Members of Congress from both parties have decried the incident as an assault on democratic processes. The episode unfolded against a backdrop of heightened tension in Minneapolis, where recent federal immigration enforcement actions and fatal shooting by federal agents have sparked protests, political conflict, and fierce debate over civil rights and public safety. Omar, who represents Minnesota's 5th District and is one of the first Somali American members of Congress, has frequently spoken about the threats she has received over her career. She has linked the attack to what she describes as increasingly hostile rhetoric towards her and her community, particularly from national political figures. While authorities continue to investigate and determine whether additional charges will be pursued, the incident has raised renewed discussions about security for elected officials, the boundaries of political dissent, and the broader climate of division and the violence in public discourse. Now, the ending discussion about this: what steps should be taken to protect public officials at constituent events while still preserving open access and democratic engagement? How do incidents like this reflect broader political tensions in the U.S., and what responsibilities do public figures have in shaping rhetoric and discourse? Should attacks that occur during official functions be handled differently by law enforcement or the justice system compared with other forms of political violence? Let us know in the comment section, as always, ladies and gentlemen. What do you got, Revelation? What do you got?
I was trying to find my article because it got deleted again. What was it again?
The Ilhan Omar, when she got sprayed with a substance.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, it literally was just apple cider. I don't know how they're still having to do tests on
Apple cider?
it. Yeah, if it was like you've encountered apple cider vinegar before in your life.
Right.
Oh well, it's no.
I'm trying to see if I have the video. Give me a second.
Like,
people are saying it was staged, though. You think it was staged?
I could see if because you're trying to cause mass hysteria, so it's like, oh, look, another white dude attacking a Muslim. It's like, at this point, like, this is why I'm like, oh, this is why people are like after fucking January 6th, thought so many people like of those people were like paid.
Yeah, paid.
This is why I still think half of these people are paid. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Fucking, what do you call it? You don't hear anything about fucking any of the ICE agents or anything in fucking Minneapolis, right? All you're hearing about is the fucking massive fraud cases about, resulting in Somalian daycares.
Uh-huh.
All of a sudden, somehow, a fucking ICE agent gets run into by some white lady and she gets shot. The next day, a bunch of protests start happening. Weird, huh?
Yeah. 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 And that's the facts. Listen,
And then we all miraculously forget about the fucking fraud cases.
I don't think anybody can hear. Oh, there we go.
But hey, I'm just some white person from some bumfuck Egypt corner of, New York who only graduated high school and obviously doesn't know anything about politics and that, so I'm just having a crackpot, tinfoil hat theory.
Indeed. I get it. Don't worry. Don't worry. We got video footage, though, real quick here. I'll send it to you later because I know you can't see it. But here's a quick video footage, a quick 55 seconds, real quick revelation. Nothing too long. Let's move over to this video right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment. And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment. I don't know.
Oh my God. Oh my God, he sprayed something on her.
I need a napkin to know nothing.
No, we will continue. No. Ilhan, you need to go get checked.
No, we will continue this. We're not gonna get away with it.
You need to go get checked. No, you don't know what he.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the video. You can find that video on our channel, Jey Morales Unbound, for more information. Moving along now, ladies and gentlemen. Where are we here? Across the United States and around the world, layoffs are piling up at an alarming pace, leaving workers anxious about the future of their jobs, their families, and the broader economy. After years of labor market resilience following pandemic disruptions, recent weeks have seen some of the largest employers announce major workforce reductions as businesses adjust to changing consumer demand, rising costs, and rapid technological shifts. One of the most closely watched announcements came from e-commerce behemoth Amazon, which revealed plans to cut approximately 16,000 corporate jobs globally. A significant addition to tens of thousands of layoffs the company has already made in the past year. In the late 2025, Amazon eliminated roughly 24,000 positions, and this latest round pushes total cuts to be around 30,000 roles within months. Company leaders have framed these reductions as part of the push streamline decision making, reduce overhead, and reposition resources towards advanced technologies like artificial intelligence and automation that they say will define the future of online retail. The cuts have hit corporate units hardest, including human resources, finance and technical teams, and have raised concerns among employees about what further changes might lie ahead. Logistics and delivery firms are feeling similar pressures. United Parcel Service Sorry about that. United Parcel Service, one of the nation's largest package carriers, announced plans to eliminate up to 30,000 operational jobs over the course of 2026. Unlike tech companies, what are cutting corporate staff, that are cutting corporate staffs. UPS reductions force heavily on frontline positions in sorting hubs, delivery networks, and seasonal roles. The company attributed the layoffs to changing shipping volumes and the need to restructure its workforce as e-commerce growth slows from its pandemic highs. For many UPS employees, particularly those who have spent years working holiday season and peak delivery cycles, the news has been a jolt, a reminder how quickly labor market stability can evaporate in a shifting economic landscape. In manufacturing and heavy industry, similar retrenchments are underway. Dow Incorporated, a global chemical company, announced that it will cut approximately 4,500 jobs as a part of a shift towards automation and more automated production lines. Dow executives have said that digital technologies, robotics, and AI driven manufacturing systems are necessary to remain competitive internationally. But for workers who skills revolve around traditional production roles, the cuts are stark indicators of how technology is reshaping the nature of labor itself. The The telecommunications sector is also being affected. Verizon, a major U.S. wireless carrier, unveiled plans to shed more than 13,000 positions as part of the corporate restructuring strategy aimed at simplifying operation and cutting costs. The cut spans administrative, customer service, and technical departments and represent one of the largest workforce reductions in the company's history. Executives have described the move as a necessary response to slower revenue growth and intensifying competition with rivals who are aggressively investing in the next generation wireless infrastructure. Global companies with diverse business lines are not immune either. Food and consumer goods giant Nestle announced it will eliminate approximately 16,000 worldwide jobs over the next 2 years, attributing the cuts to rising operation costs, shifting consumer habits, and the need to streamline production lines. Likewise, Danish pharmaceutical company Novo Nordisk, known for its blockbuster weight loss and diabetes drugs, said it will cut roughly 19,000 roles as part of the broader effort to realign the company's global workforce and invest in emerging research areas. Taking together, these cuts are part of a broader pattern first visible in 2025 when companies across sectors reported more than 1.1 million jobs eliminated. Uh, the highest total since the pandemic era. Technology companies alone accounted for a disproportionately large share, driven by a combination of automation, AI transformation, and corporate belt tightening after an extended period of pandemic era growth. This wave of layoffs has triggered a palpable shift in the labor market. Economists increasingly describe the current environment as a no hire, no fire phase, a paradox where hiring has stalled, but employers continue to reduce headcounts in key areas. Job postings have declined, new hiring is slowing, and workers are reporting increased anxiety about their job security. This is especially true in sectors where automation and artificial intelligence are rapidly transforming roles once viewed as stable. For many employees, the fear of being next has become a constant. Social media platforms and worker forums are filled with stories of professionals who nights are restless because a single email notification upend their financial planning and family stability. The human impact of these cuts goes beyond numbers on a spreadsheet. Workers suddenly facing layoffs have spoken publicly about the stress navigating unemployment systems, the difficulty of finding new roles in a tightening market, and the emotional toll of uncertainty. For some, layoffs mean a forced pivot into entirely new industries. For others, it's a disruption that threatens their ability to pay mortgages, child care costs, or medical bills. The health professionals are already reporting increases in anxiety and depression among workers grappling with employment insecurity, further highlighting how labor trends intersect with broader societal well being. Political makers, labor advocates, and economic analysts are increasingly debating how to respond. Some argue that the expanding retraining and reskilling programs to help displaced workers transition into growing sectors such as healthcare, green energy, and advanced manufacturing. Others are calling for stronger unemployment benefits, protecting against sudden downsizing, and incentives for companies that invest in workforce stability rather than short term cost cuts. Critics of current corporate strategies say that companies too readily turn to layoffs without exploring alternatives such as reduced hours, voluntary, voluntary attrition, or reassignments that could preserve institutional knowledge and employer loyalty. At the same time, many businesses leaders argue that restructuring and workforce reductions are inevitable as companies adapt to global economies or economic pressures, technological advancements, and rapid changes in consumer behavior. They counted that to stay viable and to continue providing goods and services in competitive markets, they must evolve, even if that means painful workforce adjustments in the short term. As layoffs continue to make headlines a ripple through uh, local economies, the uncertainty is reshaping how workers think about careers, corporate loyalty, and personal financial planning. The broader implications of consumer spending, economic confidence, and community stability remain uncertain. But one thing is clear. In a labor market defined by rapid change, the experience of stable employment is becoming increasingly fragile for many Americans. Discussing questions, ladies and gentlemen. With layoffs spreading across industries, what responsibility do companies have to support workers through transitions, restraining, and protections against sudden cuts? How should policymakers balance the needs of a competitive, evolving economy with the very real emotional and economic toll layoffs impose on workers and families? Does the current labor market indicate a long term shift towards the automation and AI driven job displacement? And if so, what does that mean for the future of work and workers' security? Let us know in the comment section again, ladies and gentlemen. What do you got?
Honestly, in this time, I think the only thing for like just you know worker security really is one of two things: stay at your job or a union.
Pretty much, the union is what's going to save you. And this goes to a good friend of
Cause,
ours, right? Right, Revelation? This goes to a good friend of ours
cause,
that don't listen.
if like you figure you have the union, I hate unions, so that's just way I was raised. Don't listen to me if you don't. But I understand that in certain jobs you need them as a fallback. So if it's there and it's beneficial to you, get in it as a way of security. Um, but if it's not, and you've been there a while, just stay out of it and be like, oh, hey, I have seniority. They're not going to fire me as long as I keep doing a good job. And then just hope that you don't have a company that's dog shit and it ends up going under. Which, no matter what, even if you're in a union, you know, your company will fuck and die if you can't do jack shit about that
Right.
unless it's a multi-billion-dollar company and your union is just like, oh well, we're just gonna send you off over to some licensed thing that are the big people we're going through. If you were just doing if you weren't going through the seniority or not seniority the union and you were just doing the whole, oh well, I'm doing it, I'm not going to use union because I have seniority. Well, then you can just go to another job. But really, in this environment, at least in the majority of the states that I know of, it's bad fucking timing to lose any sort of job or try and switch
This will be
because
the
nobody's
next.
hiring.
Yep, this will be the next few years. That it will be awful for anybody to get another job. For sure, I agree. I agree. Ladies and gentlemen, going to the one of the last two articles that we have tonight. Little warning for revelation. Um, right after I'm done with this, you're just gonna go do your thing, and then I'll read the last bit of the of what I got, and then we'll send it out that way. All right, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, our one of our topics here tonight is the reminder of this Saturday, January 31st, 2026. Wrestling fans around the world will turn their attention to one of the most anticipated events in sports entertainment, the WWE Royal Rumble. For the first time in its nearly 4 decade history, the Royal Rumble will be held outside of North America, taking place in the King Abdullah Financial District Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The move marks a historic movement for WWE, highlighting its global expansion strategy and in emphasizing the event's importance not only as a major wrestling spectacle, but also as a centerpiece of international entertainment. The arena itself has been specially prepared for the occasion, with WWE promising a production on the scale of WrestleMania, complete with pyrotechnics, drone displays, a stage designed for maximum visibility and impact. The Royal Rumble, now the 39th year, is anchored by the traditional over the top rope battle royales, featuring 30 men and 30 women vying for a chance to headline WrestleMania 42. The stakes couldn't be higher. The winner of each match earned the right to challenge for a world championship of their choice, setting the stage for dramatic storylines in the months ahead. Among confirmed entrants is in the men's Royal Rumble are some of the WWE's uh, top stars, including Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Gunther, Jey Uso, Rey Mysterio, Braun Breaker, Logan Paul, Bronson Reed, Austin Theory, Penta, Javon Evans, and Solo Sikoa. Each of these competitors brings a mix of athleticism, charisma, and fan following that promise a fast-paced, unpredictable contest. On the women's side, confirmed participants include Liv Morgan, Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez, Io Sky, Asuka, Bailey, Gilia, Jordan Grace, and Nia Jax. The Women Royal Rumble has become increasingly competitive in recent years, and this year is no exception. With multiple former championships and rising stars in the field, the match is expected to deliver high drama and signature moves, and moment that could define careers. Betting odds have shifted in recent days, with Liv Morgan's overtaking Bianca Belair as the favorite to win, and while Rhea Ripley is also seen as a strong contender. The rest of the Royal Rumble card includes several high stakes championship matches and career defining bouts. Drew McIntyre will defend his undisputed WWE Championship against Sami Zayn, capping off a heated rivalry that has played out over multiple shows leading up to the Royal Rumble. Another key attraction is the AJ Styles versus Gunther match, which carries a stipulation with enormous consequences. If AJ Styles loses his WWE, sorry, if AJ Styles loses, ladies and gentlemen, his WWE career will come to an end. These matches underscore the narrative tension beyond the royales, combining personal rivalries, championship ambitions, and career milestones into one night of high drama. In the lead up to the event, WWE has kept fans on edge with a teaser, promos, and surprises during this week's during the weekly program. Cody Rhodes, for example, received a mixed reception from the Saudi crowd after staking his claim to win the Rumble, highlighting the unpredictable nature of fan reaction in international setting. Speculations about potential surprise entrance and return of legendary wrestlers has also added to the anticipation. Names like Chris Jericho and other veterans are being discussed behind the scenes, while NXT talents and stars from international promotions could also make appearances, ensuring that no competitor can be taken for granted. Adding to the excitement, WWE recently announced that the CM Punk will be the cover of Stars of WWE 2K26, tying into the buzz around Royal Rumble weekend. Fans have speculated that the video game promotion and related in-arena storylines could create additional surprises or appearances, further blurring the lines between in-ring action and media hype. The Royal Rumble's timing and location make it not only a wrestling event, but a test of WWE's ability to engage a global audience. The main card will begin at 2 p.m. Eastern, with the pre-show starting around noon, allowing fans across multiple time zones to tune in. U.S. viewers can watch on ESPN and ESPN Unlimited, while international audience have access through Netflix and regional WWE distribution partners. As the first major WWE event held outside of North America, it represents both a logistical challenge and an opportunity to expand the company's international footprint while maintaining the excitement and the spectacle that fans expect from Royal Rumble. As WrestleMania storylines begin to take shape, the Royal Rumble 2026 promises to deliver unforgettable moments, career defining victories, and shocking eliminations. With championship careers and legacies at stake, this Saturday's event is more than a battle royale. It is a global spectacle that could set the tone for the entire WWE calendar year. Fans will be watching closely to see who triumphs, who surprises, and who will enter the WrestleMania as the next superstar with a shot at glory. Now, some ending discussing questions here. How does holding the Royal Rumble outside North America for the first time impact WWE's global strategy and the fan experience? With high stakes matches like AJ Styles versus Gunther and Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn, which storylines carries the most weight going into WrestleMania? How do surprise entrants, returning legends, and announced stars affect the excitement, unpredictability, and the legacy of the Royal Rumble? Let us know in the comment sections what you guys think. Revelation, what do you got?
I think the one that carries the most weight is probably going to be the AJ versus Gunther. Because if they have AJ lose, they are going to completely ruin a wrestler. Like, they're gonna have Gunther known as just like, just the dude who is only known for like retiring people, and that's it.
I mean, they just
They're gonna
trademarked his,
overshadow his whole entire like championship wins and everything.
they just trademarked his legend killer, practically. That's what they call him now. Legend killer.
Yeah, I think Randy's gonna have something to say about that.
Indeed, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, again, what's the time? Yes, here we go. One more time. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget this Saturday, January 31st, you can stream it on ESPN and ESPN Unlimited. And for you international audiences, we'll have access through Netflix and regional WWE distribution partners, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, the main card will begin at at 2 p.m. Eastern, with the pre-show starting at noon. Again, the Royal Rumble. And one final question: do you think that our good friend Chris Jericho will be in the Royal Rumble? Let us know in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know in the comment section. Uh Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pass it over to our good friend Revelation to give Jey Morales a break. And as always, before he gets his stuff, I do my thing with the thing. Ladies and gentlemen, this portion of the show is always brought to you by the Kville Hotel Inn Tavern, located down at 2647 Heidelberg Avenue in Klein, Feltersville, Pennsylvania. They're open Wednesday to Sunday, 4 to 9, Wednesday and Thursday. Friday 4 to 10, Saturday 12 to 10, and Sunday 12 to 8 p.m. Their phone number is 717-949-8413. And while you're down there, make sure you try the peanut butter and jelly burger or their sliders. They got awesome sliders. They have chicken wings. They got everything you want down there. Seth and Jamie will treat you with love and family, or the family with love. Ladies and gentlemen, also our next sponsor is Atlas Epoxy Floors. Their phone number is 203-496-6386. They're located down in Milford, Connecticut. To also contact him, to contact Bradford Kelly, contact him at brad.kelly@atlasepoxyfloors.com for his email. They do a lot of different work, different jobs. Sorry about that. Different jobs. They do garages, basements, patios, lobbies, countertops. You name it. Whatever you need epoxy, Atlas Epoxy Floors got it for you, ladies and gentlemen. Again, Bradford Kelly is CEO and owner. He will travel anywhere around the country at a price, ladies and gentlemen, at a price anywhere in the country in the United States of America. You can contact him again at 203-496-6386, or you can visit his website at atlasepoxyfloors.com. And if you need to email him for any images of the work that you need done, it's brad.kelly@atlasepoxyfloors.com, ladies and gentlemen, .com. Also, again, our main sponsor of the show is Velocity Modern Classics, ladies and gentlemen. They're located down on 15 East Quintet Road in Cantonment, Florida, 32533. You can visit their website at velocityrestorations.com. Their phone number is again at 850-466-1810. And they're open from Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Shout out to Eddie Weber, as always. Eddie Weber. Where's the main one? Where's producer Mike? There he is, producer Mike, ladies and gentlemen, producer Mike. Let's not forget about producer Mike. You can catch our show on the movement here on this channel here. I don't know what's going on with this. Why did this change, ladies and gentlemen? We're gonna pass it now to our good friend Revelation. I give up today with production. I blame it on the docket team. We're going to blame it on the docket team. And, yeah. Back to you, Rev.
Okay, everyone. It is Freaky Friday, but for snacks. PepsiCo is Frankensteining 3 new snacks out of some of the brand's staples. And it's all being done with the help of some of the internet's biggest stars. PepsiCo Foods is taking 3 of their iconic snack flavors and putting them on other snacks. The first one is Doritos Cool Ranch on Ruffles. The next one is Ruffles Cheddar and Sour Cream on Doritos. And the final one is Lay's Sweet Southern Heat Barbecue on Crunchy Cheetos. According to a press release, the R&D team tested multiple combinations of flavors and brands to land on 3 perfect pairings. If any of these are anywhere near as good as the Funyuns flavored Lay's, then we're all in for a treat. The flavor swap snacks will start rolling out in mid-February, but if you can't wait, then head to Instagram and follow Cheetos, Ruffles, and Doritos. The brands are offering special limited time drops right now. That is the first one. Pop up the second one, which coincidentally enough is also a food related one. For those of you who are interested in spice, like spicy stuff and hard candy, Jolly Ranchers is launching an all-new candy that's unlike anything it's done before. It is launching a gummy candy. It is launching a it is launching Jolly Rancher Heat Wave Gummies, which gets the heat from apparently from what they're saying, I guess it's apparently saying the way it's wording is they're saying I don't know, they're mixing it up, and they're saying that it's chamoy flavored with Jolly Rancher flavoring. I don't know how it can be chamoy flavored and Jolly Rancher flavored. I don't know. But anyways, the new Heat Wave lineup will feature 5 flavors: mango, pineapple, watermelon, lime, and citrus punch. And each gummy will be coated in a Heat Wave chili coating with a chili mango flavor inspired by the yep, here it is. They've gone into it more. With a chili mango flavor inspired by the spice combo of the moment chamoy. And the rest is just about how it's a new flavor following their venture into, new products. So, yeah, they're releasing, chamoy flavored gummy Jolly Ranchers. They could have saved us all that time. Thanks, AOL. And now my final one. Where is it? Here we go. Okay, here we go. So we have Polly Cooper, an Oneida woman who helped save Washington's army, is honored on a $1 coin. The reverse side of the U.S. Mint's 2026 Sacagawea $1 coin will feature Polly Cooper, a woman from the Oneida tribe known for helping George Washington's Continental Army during the Revolutionary War. The release of this coin coincides with the celebration of the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. It recognizes Cooper's role in a 1778 relief expedition from Oneida Territory in what is now central New York to the rebel troops' winter encampment in Valley Forge, PA, where they were facing a food and supply crisis. Polly Cooper symbolizes courage that is not just found on the battlefield, but in compassion and willingness to help others, which is just a part of Oneida culture and hospitality, said Ray Hallbritter, a representative of the Oneida Indian Nation of New York. Cooper and a delegation of 47 Oneida warriors carried bushels of white corn on the long, cold trek to feed the starving soldiers. According to Oneida oral tradition, Cooper intervened to prevent Washington's hungry soldiers from eating the white corn raw, which would have made them sick. She taught them how to prepare hulled corn soup. The coin features Cooper offering a basket of corn to Washington, a design that Hallbritter said his community worked on closely with the U.S. Mint. The other side depicts Sacagawea, a young Native American woman who was a crucial guide to the Lewis and Clark expedition. It's the latest release under the Native American $1 coin program established by a 2007 Act of Congress to commemorate individual Native Americans and tribes. Past coins have featured Osage, prima ballerina Maria Tall Chief, Jim Thorpe of the Sac and Fox Nation, who was an Olympic champion and multi-sport professional athlete, and landmark historical events like the signing of the 1778 treaty with the Delaware, the first of over 400 treaties negotiated between the United States and native nations, although not all were ratified. That is the last one.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank Revelation as always coming in clutch with one of the bests. No recalls today?
There was one, but it had to do with potato chips, and I couldn't find the details for it. So, everyone just be leery while eating potato chips, okay?
Yeah. Be leery and be careful. Yep. Indeed.
Don't eat any parts of the chips that are green, which you shouldn't be eating in general, because those are actually bad for you. Contrary to what your parents may have told you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're heading to the end here now. Just getting everything set up for the ending here. Where is it? There it is. Today, the entertainment world is in shock and mourning after the death of Catherine O'Hara, the Emmy-winning comic actor whose work delighted generations of audiences around the globe. O'Hara died on January 30th, 2026 at the age of 71 at her home in Los Angeles following a brief illness, her agency confirmed. Born in Toronto, 1954, O'Hara's careers spanned more than 5 decades and touched nearly every form of film and television comedy. She got her start in the 1970s Toronto Second City Improv Troupe and was a foundational member of the influential sketch show Second City Television SCTV, where she honed her trademark wit and character work alongside future comedy legends. O'Hara throughout in Hollywood came with memorable roles in major films throughout the 1980s and 90s. She brought infectious energy to Tim Burton's Beetlejuice as Delia Dietz, starred up opposite Macaulay Culkin as the frantic but loving Kate McAllister in the holiday classic Home Alone and its sequel, and appeared in string of hit comedies, including Christopher Guest's ensemble, ensemble mockumentaries such as Waiting for Gotham and Best in Show. A definition chapter of her career came with the beloved sitcom Schitt's Creek, where she played the flamboyant, scene styling matriarch Moira Rose. The role earned her a Primetime Emmy Award in 2020, her second Emmy after earlier honors for her work on SCTV, and brought her a new generation of fans. At the 2025 Emmy Awards, her final major public appearance, she was celebrated for her outstanding contributions to television alongside her castmates. In recent years, O'Hara continued to expand her range. She delivered an acclaimed turns in Apple TV Plus comedy The Studio and took on dramatic material in the HBO's The Last of Us, earning nominations and praise for both. Her final public appearances in 2025 revealed an artist still at the peak of her craft, beloved by colleagues and audiences alike. News of her death was met with an outpouring of grief and tribute from across the entertainment world. Macaulay Culkin, who played her on her son, who played I can't speak anymore. I'm so sorry. Who played like his son, right? For her in Home Alone, shared an emotional message on social media, writing, "Mama, I thought we had time. I wanted more. I wanted to sit in a chair next to you. I love you, and I'll see you later." Pedro Pascal, her Last of Us co-star, called her a genius and said he was eternally grateful to have worked with her, while Michael Keaton remember her as both collaborator and the real-life true friend. Going back decades, Dan Levy, co-creator and star of Schitt's Creek, called working with her a gift and said it was hard to imagine a world without her. Others tribute come from Ryan Reynolds, Meryl Streep, and countless others who admire her warmth, versatility, and comic brilliance. Tributes are also pouring in from fans around the world. Social platforms have been filled with heartbreaking reactions from people overwhelmed by her passing, to others sharing personal stories about how her work shaped their childhoods and careers. Many expressed disbelief that such vibrant and beloved performer could be taken so soon, highlighting how deeply her work resonates across generations. While the official cause of death has not been publicly disclosed, reports indicate that O'Hara experienced a medical emergency at her Los Angeles home earlier Friday, leading to her being rushed to the hospital in serious condition prior to her passing. Catherine O'Hara leaves behind her husband, production designer Bo Welch, who she met while working on the Beetlejuice in the late 1980s, and their two sons, Matthew and Luke. The breadth of her work, from sketch comedy to film classics to modern television, ensures her legacy will ensure not just in awards and in accolades, but also in laughter and joy she brought to audiences worldwide. My ending questions to this. What is about Catherine O'Hara's performances from Home Alone to Schitt's Creek that made her such a beloved figure across different generations and genres? How do the heartfelt tributes from colleagues like Macaulay Culkin and Pedro Pascal shape our understanding of her impact on those who she worked with, as well as her legacy in entertainment? In an era of shifting comedy styles and television formats, what lessons can actors and creators take from O'Hara's career about versatility, risk-taking, and connecting with the audiences? Ladies and gentlemen, it is truly, truly sad to lose another practically, when actors pass away, ladies and gentlemen, it's like you losing a family member. I just had this conversation with Revelation here just recently. And that's how that feels, ladies and gentlemen. It's like losing a family member that you'll never see again, but only in pictures or in film. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say rest in peace, Catherine O'Hare, um, as we take a quick 10-second moment of silence. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap for tonight's episode of Unbound. We've covered federal agents and under scrutiny for deadly force in Minneapolis, the civil rights charges facing journalist Don Lemon, and the assault on Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, the wave of layoffs impacting workers nationwide, a preview of Riyadh's Royal Rumble 2026, and remembering comedy legend Catherine O'Hara. Before we go, as always, I want to take a moment to address two important issues: mental health and domestic violence. These affect millions of people quietly every day, but support is always available. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health challenges, you can contact the 988 Suicide Crisis Lifeline in the U.S. by dialing 988. Trained counselors are available 24/7 to provide support, guidance, and resources. For those affected by domestic violence, you can reach the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. They provide confidential assistance, safety planning, and connections to local support services. Remember, reaching out for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. You are not alone. Thanks as always for tuning in. And thank you to my co host, as always, Revelation, for being here, for helping us always unpack it all tonight. We'll be back Monday on Unbound to break down the news over the weekend and ask the questions that others won't. Keep digging past the headlines, ladies and gentlemen. Until then, stay informed, stay curious, and stay unbound. And as always, before we go, we're going to throw it to Revelation to send us to a daily reminder or a daily homework.
Remember, everyone, sometimes when you have a pile of fries, you just gotta make it the most unhealthy thing possible. Not none of that wimpy ketchup. You just gotta load it up with cheese, bacon, onions, shallots, you know, a little bit of sour cream if I haven't already said that, just and I found some chili without beans because the beans make it a little bit harder to eat, and just dig into it. And it'll be and if it's winter time where it's nice and cold, it'll warm you right up. And don't ask me the recipe because I have no idea. Unlike the egg salad, which I'm still waiting on an answer for all of you if you have tried it.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, let us know in the comment section on that so we know. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, you have yourselves a great night. We're going to leave you a quick here short of the movie Beetlejuice with Catherine O'Hare. And then we're heading out. Thank you again for tuning in, and we'll catch you on Monday.
What you did with the place was wonderful.
So? You like them.
I just hope it wasn't yet another of your dreary suicide attempts. You know what they say about people who commit suicide? In the afterlife, they become civil servants.
Otho, I didn't realize you were into the supernatural.
Well, of course. You remember, after my stint with the Living Theater, I was one of New York City's leading paranormal researchers. Till the bottom dropped out in '72.
Paranormal, is that what they're calling your kind these days?
Don't mind her. She's still upset because somebody dropped a house on her sister.
Well, this looks really good.
I saw some ghosts.
little private joke that Lydia and I share.
It's not a joke.
Yes, it is. Just today she tried to convince me that this house is haunted. Kids! You know I love them.
By ghosts?
In designer sheets, no less.
I'd like to propose a toast to our intrepid friends who braved the Cross Bronx Expressway and 24 toll booths to be with us here this evening. May your buildings go condo.
Now, Lydia, favor us about your ghosts.
No. I am sick of that subject.
Oh, Delia, lighten up.
I would rather talk about
It's cute, Delia.
Daylight come and me want go home.
Otho, are you doing
Work
this?
all night and a drink a rum. Daylight come and me want go home. Stack banana till the morning come. Daylight come and me want go home. Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and me want go home. Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and me want go home. Live 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch. Daylight come and me want go home. 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch. Daylight come and me want go home. Day is a day, oh. Daylight come and me want go home. Day is a day, is a day, is a day, is a day, want go home. A beautiful bunch, a ripe banana. Daylight come and we want go home. Hide the deadly black tarantula. Daylight come and we want go home. Live 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch.